have a sin for us to avoid. Don't refuse God's gifts. Oh, God is wanting to give you good gifts. We're told in James that every good and every perfect gift comes from above, comes from the Father of lights. He wants to give us good things, good inheritance. So we don't need to refuse God's good gifts. That's exactly what the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and half of the tribe of Manasseh choose to do. We're focusing on the tribe of Reuben and Gad. If you remember, Reuben is the oldest child of Jacob, and from him came the tribe of Reuben. And so he should have been the leader. He abdicated that role, and Judah ultimately becomes this leader, this powerhouse tribe in the nation of Israel. So Reuben and Gad, they are going to approach the Lord and they're going to say something they should not say. I don't think they should say. In God's providence, it's working out in the way that it should. But this is not something that they should be doing. Let's see what they do. Let's see how they refuse God's good gift. We're told that the people of Reuben and the people of Gad had a very great number of livestock. They took care of their sheep. They took care of their cows. And then they saw that the land that had just been conquered was a place for livestock. They said, oh, we have a lot of sheep. They said, oh, we have a lot of cows. And look at this land. It's really good for cows and sheep to live on this land. So here's what they then do. They come to Moses. They approach Moses, they approach Eleazar the priest, and they say this: if we have found favor in your sight. Now, I think that's a great attitude. That's a good example to follow. Is that when we approach the Lord or we approach those in authority over us, we say, hey, is this okay? God has given you to me to help me think through issues of life and to make good decisions. So I want to make sure this passes the mustard. I want to make sure this is something that you think is good and that we think God's word says. So they say, if we found favor in your sight. But notice at the request, they say, let this land be given to your servants for a possession. This land that we just conquered, the one that's good for livestock. And we have a lot of livestock, Moses. Please give it to us. And then they say a terrible thing. They say, do not take us across the Jordan. You know that promised land God has been talking to us about for a very long time? We don't want it anymore. Do not take us across the Jordan. Do not take us into the land flowing with milk and honey. That promised land, we don't want it. They refuse God's gift. And in case we're wondering whether or not they should have done this, look at what Moses says. Moses has a very long, verses 6 all the way down to verse 15, a very long rebuke. Moses said to the people of Gad and the people of Reuben, shall your brothers go to war while you sit here? He explains, he goes on, and he says, your fathers did this. They didn't want to go into the promised land. They discouraged the heart of the people of Israel from going into the land that the Lord had given them. Guys, you are doing a very bad thing. In fact, you're rejecting the land, but you're also going to discourage the rest of the tribes from going into it. Remember how the Lord's anger was kindled on that day. Remember how we had to wander in the wilderness for 40 years, and all of them would die except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, the son of Nun, for they have wholly followed the Lord. Or the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel. Guys, you're doing the same thing. We had to wander for 40 years. If you turn away from following him, he will again abandon them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all this people. What you're asking is a terrible thing. And then look what they did. Verse 16. Then they came near to him and said, oh, Mo, you don't understand. We will build sheepfolds here for our livestock. We'll have cities for our children to live in, and we'll go over with you to the land. And then they say the very bad thing. We will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan. We don't want the good gift. Now, Moses, as we'll see in the next reading, Moses will say, okay, if you'll promise to go and fight, then you can have this land. But the people of Gad, The people of Reuben, and as we will see, the half tribe of Manasseh made a terrible choice to reject the promised land. And I wonder, are you rejecting some good gift from God? Don't do it. Receive it today. I pray it's been a blessing to you, and I'll see you in the next video.